In the rich and turbulent history of Van Halen, a band whose legacy is stitched together with virtuoso musicianship, larger-than-life personalities, and legendary rivalries, few stories capture the ongoing saga quite like the latest exchange between David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar. The two iconic frontmen, forever linked to the Van Halen name yet divided by eras, style, and spirit, have once again found themselves in the spotlight, this time over a claim that reaches beyond the grave. It all began when Sammy Hagar, the Red Rocker himself, opened up about an extraordinary, even supernatural experience. In 2022, Hagar told Ultimate Classic Rock that Eddie Van Halen had appeared to him in a dream. But this was no ordinary dream. According to Hagar, Eddie came with a gift, a riff, a melody, a spark of inspiration. Hagar claimed that the very next morning, he woke up, remembered every note, and immediately wrote a song. That composition became Thank You, a track that he publicly linked to Eddie's Spectral Visitation. At the time, Hagar even declared that he would credit Eddie as a co-writer, saying that it was only right to honor his fallen bandmate's contribution, even if it came from beyond this world. Fast forward to 2024, when the song resurfaced under the title Encore, Thank You Goodnight. Once again, Hagar repeated the story of Eddie's ghostly inspiration, presenting it as both tribute and proof that Eddie's spirit still lingered in music. Yet when fans and critics looked closely, there was a conspicuous absence. Eddie's name never appeared in the songwriting credits. Instead, the track listed only Hagar and guitar virtuoso Joe Satriani. For some, this raised eyebrows. For others, it simply became another colorful chapter in Hagar's long, winding career. But for David Lee Roth, never one to shy away from a sharp line or a spotlight, this was an opportunity for mischief. Appearing live at the Hampton Casino in New Hampshire, Roth seized the moment in front of a packed audience. With a grin and his trademark charisma, he addressed the crowd. First, he set the stage with a tone of respect, calling Hagar, quote, a contemporary, praising his, quote, great voice, and even acknowledging his impressive catalog. The audience listened, perhaps expecting Roth to extend a rare olive branch to his longtime rival. But this is David Lee Roth, master of timing, wit, and rock. Roll showmanship. Suddenly, his tone shifted. With the precision of a stand-up comedian and the swagger of a rock god, Roth told his own tale of spectral visitation. The night before, he claimed, while he sat in his hotel room watching a simple weather report, the ghost of Eddie Van Halen appeared to him as well. Only this time, Eddie wasn't solemn, wasn't gifting melodies. He was laughing. Roth leaned into the punchline, letting the tension build before delivering Eddie's supposed words from beyond. Dave, you know that song I gave Hagar? It's actually In Agata da Vida, played backwards. Don't fucking tell him. The audience roared with laughter, and in that instant, Roth had done what he has always done best, taken the serious, the mystical, and the sentimental, and turned it into spectacle. Where Hagar spoke of dreams, destiny, and divine inspiration, Roth countered with satire, reminding fans that rock, roll, at its core, is as much about attitude and theater as it is about notes and chords. This playful jab wasn't just about the ghost story itself. It was another spark in the long-burning fire between the two singers. For decades, fans have debated who defined Van Halen more, the flamboyant showman David Lee Roth or the soulful belter Sammy Hagar. Their tenures were different, their personalities clashed, and their approaches to Eddie's genius often seemed like opposite ends of a spectrum. Even in Eddie's absence, that tension continues to play out. morphing into new tales that keep the Van Halen legend alive. And so, what could have been a sentimental anecdote from Hagar became the setup for Roth's latest performance. Half joke, half rock theater, entirely unforgettable. Eddie Van Halen, the eternal guitar god, remains at the center of their stories, his name invoked with reverence, humor, and myth. Whether through dreams or punchlines, his presence still hovers over the band that changed rock forever. In the end, the moment was classic Van Halen lore. Part truth, part exaggeration, part showbiz sparkle. Sammy Hagar gave fans a tale of supernatural inspiration. David Lee Roth gave them a reason to laugh. A reminder that rock legends are never just remembered for the songs they wrote, but for the stories, rivalries, and larger-than-life personalities that kept the world watching. To truly understand the weight behind this latest exchange, one has to look back at the long and complicated history of Van Halen's frontmen. When David Lee Roth first fronted the band in the late 1970s, he embodied everything a rock frontman was supposed to be: flashy, unpredictable, and bursting with charisma. His acrobatics on stage, his outrageous sense of humor, and his larger-than-life persona helped catapult Van Halen from a rising California act to a global phenomenon. Songs like Jump, Panama, and Ain't Talkin' Boot Love weren't just tracks on a record. They became anthems of an era, fueled by Roth's swagger and Eddie's otherworldly guitar heroics. But by the mid-1980s, tensions between Roth and Eddie Van Halen grew insurmountable. Creative differences, clashing egos, and the endless demands of fame led Roth to part ways with the band in 1985. Enter Sammy Hagar, the seasoned rocker with a powerhouse voice and a reputation for heartfelt songwriting. With Hagar at the helm, Van Halen entered a new era, one that leaned less on flamboyance and more on melody and maturity. Albums like 5150 and OU 812 produced chart-topping hits and cemented the band's commercial dominance. To many, this period represented Van Halen at their most polished and successful.